Hello everybody, hope you're very well. Welcome to this week's edition of Money Matters. Did you know over the last 35 years the value of human life in the UK has halved? I will prove that to you. Did you know in many areas of the UK over the last 12 months houses have earned more than their owners? Shocking fact, or is it? My name's Paul Smith from Touchstone Education and I hope you are very well. I want to stop you from sleepwalking towards financial disaster. I'm going to start with the basic premise that most people in the UK sell their lives for money. You might call it wages, you might call it a salary, you might call it an hourly wage, you might like overtime, but essentially, there's no two ways about it, you are selling your life for money. So come on, let's go have a little sit down and I'll prove to you that the value of your life in real terms has halved in the last 35 years. So I don't want you sleepwalking towards the disaster that is working for somebody else for the rest of your life with no real choices. So what prompted me to record this video today? Well, it's actually an article that I saw from Zoopla and it asked a simple question: in the last 12 months, has your house earned more than you have? And you'll see this interactive little widget thing, you can press on it and you can find out how much your property has gone up in the last 12 months, always assuming, of course, that you've actually got one. Otherwise, it's not really a relevant question, is it? But for a professional landlord like me, it's actually really good news because I define a professional landlord as being able to live on the income from that property. Now, according to government statistics, only 4% of the population are landlords and only 4% of them, i.e. 1.6 people in 1,000, 0.16% of landlords can actually live off the income from their property. So that's where I want to get you to, and I call it the 10 Club because I think to be in that category, you have to have at least 10 houses. On average, throughout the UK over the last 12 months, so June to June, 2020 to 2021, house prices went up by roughly 10%, depends where you live. And that meant that for 40% of the people in the UK, their house actually earned more than they did. And because it's a house, because it's their home, of course, there's no capital gains tax, there's no income tax, it's tax-free money. So what could be better than a load of houses earning you a load of money? Now, is that the first time it's ever happened before? No. I want to take you back to 1986. I was 22 years old and I just bought my third property. So this property was a bungalow, lovely detached bungalow, in a place called Purfleet Road in Aveley in Essex. And I want to give you the numbers. I purchased this property for £78,000 and I only actually lived in it for 42 weeks because I got a job up north, we moved the family, different story for a different day. Has there ever been a point in recent history where houses have earned more than people? Well, I looked it up and according to Google, the average salary way back in 1986 was £12,500. If you then say to me, well, Paul, how much did you manage to sell your bungalow for? So I bought it for 78, I sold it for 120, just 42 weeks later. That's like 3 and a bit times the average wage. Now, I was a shift worker in a factory, I was earning quite good money, shift paid, night work and all the rest of it. So back in 1986, the average salary was 12 and a half, I was earning about 18, but the bungalow still made more than twice what I made by working my backside off. Now, a fundamental proposition that I'm going to put to you is that time is your most valuable asset. Now, if you believe that's true, why would you sell your life for money? This is modern slavery. This is exchanging your time, your hours, your weeks, your months, your life for money. Why would you do that? If time is your most valuable asset, surely the way to go about this is to get assets that give you money so you don't have to work and you could do whatever you want. Spend 2 weeks in the south of France or 2 months in the south of France or 2 years in the south of France, whatever it is that you want to do. But let me give you some other numbers from back in the day, from back in 1986. So the price that I sold the bungalow for was £120,000. And if the average salary was, £12,500, so roughly, a little bit less, that's roughly 10 times the average salary. So in other words, if you wanted to buy that bungalow for cash and you could magically live off no money, you could work for 10 years, save it all up and exchange 10 years worth of income for the bungalow. If I measure it in terms of human life, the value of that bungalow in 1986 was 10 years. Now, if I give you a different number, gold, as well as being a property investor, I invest in stocks and shares and gold and crypto and other stuff. But so if we take another one, if we take another measure of what's that bungalow worth, it's worth 10 years of salary, 10 years of your life, or the way gold is typically bought, sold, traded is in US dollars per ounce. Now don't worry about the funny numbers. If I just divide the 120,000 by the average gold price for 1986, the average gold price for 1986 was $360 per ounce. Now, if I divide the £120,000, which is the property value, by the $360 per ounce, that means that that bungalow back in 1986 was worth roughly 333 ounces of gold. I looked for comparables sold in that street in Aveley, was actually way back in 2018, so it's 3 years ago, for £470,000. Now, roughly in that area for that type of property, prices have gone up by approximately 20%. So if I add on the 20% for the last 3 years, 10% in the last year and 10% for the previous 2 years combined, that would bring the rough value of that property is £560,000 to £570,000. According to Google, the average salary in the UK is now £31,500. That, of course, that's heavily influenced by London. So if you're in London, it's probably 40 odd, and if you're outside London, it's 25 or whatever it is. But let's just stick with the actual UK average, which is £31,500. Let's take £560,000, divide it by 31.5. It's roughly 18 years of salary. So you've gone from roughly 10 years of salary to roughly 18 years of salary. Now, what many people mistakenly believe is, oh, well, that proves that property prices are unsustainable because it has doubled in terms of the years of your life. You would need, it's gone from 10 to 18, almost doubled. It's gone from 10 to 18, therefore it's unsustainable, therefore it's all going to crash. No, sadly, the value of human life has halved as measured by money. Because the governments of the world, quantitative easing, they just keep printing the stuff. Money has never been so worthless. And if you therefore translate your life into money, you're playing their game. Do you agree with me that time is your most valuable asset? Do you agree with me that in order to manage your wealth, you really need to start understanding property, gold, stocks and shares, crypto, all the various asset classes? Because unless you do, if you go and swap years of your life to buy property, it's going to take you 18 years to get that bungalow, whereas 35 years ago, it would only have taken you 10. That's a massive depreciation in the value of your life as measured in salary. So my strongest message to you this week on Money Matters is money does matter. What's the best asset class to put your money into? I think it's property, but not blinkers, blindfold only property, because when you get wealthy, you're naturally going to start getting stocks and shares and gold and all the other asset classes. Because whoever you are, you'd have to be moderately insane to put all of your eggs in one basket. I think you need to take responsibility for your life and stop selling your life for money. Stop exchanging the hours, days, weeks, months of your life for the average salary, because it ain't good. There's more and more people in this world, and there's more and more money in this world. Your time is less and less valuable for all sorts of reasons. I could do a whole video on that, explaining to you why your time is worth less than it ever was. And if you, like me, believe that time is your most valuable asset, what are you going to do about it? Final thought for you to prove that your life is worth half what it was 35 years ago. The one calculation I haven't done yet is to take the average salary and divide it by the average gold price for that year. So if I take you back to 1986, the average gold price then, as we've already discussed, was $360 an ounce. The average salary was £12,500. So if I divide £12,500 by $360 an ounce, that means your life would have bought you, 1 year's salary would have bought you 34.7 ounces of gold. 35 years later, 2021, the average salary is now £31,500 according to the government's website. Divide that by the current gold price. I said, as of this morning, it's $1,810 per ounce. So let's divide it by 1,800. And that gives you, funnily enough, 17.5. Almost exactly half. Your life just devalued by 50%. Imagine 35 years from now, it does it again. Do you want your grandchildren to be swapping their lives for money? I don't. Okay, so I hope you found that as fascinating as I found doing the research to actually make that recording. If you would like to learn how property can give you a lifestyle like this. So you've got the Mediterranean behind me, the hills over there, that's the French border with Italy. They never get through the gate to wealth because the old ways are broken. You need to learn truly about wealth. And the place to start is wealth through property. Click on the link below, have a read, get yourself signed up, come and spend 2 full days with us at Wealth Through Property and learn about how to become wealthy through property and then how to bolster and make more significant that wealth as you develop the other wealth income streams, gold and all the rest that I've briefly mentioned today. Don't join the rest of the wage slaves. Final quote for you: a salary is the bribe that they give you to forget your dreams. Don't forget your dreams, my friends. You've been wonderful. I've been Paul, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye for now.